So I talked about heroic debate tips and dastardly debate tips for social media. You can check out that video on my channel. And with that in mind, I submit this. A straw scarecrow with an NPC face overlooking a walled garden from their big wooden cross. You know the type. So I guess I'll break down this wonderful sentence. A straw scarecrow with an NPC face overlooking a walled garden from their big wooden cross. So first off, we have the Scarecrow, a character that appears in the aforementioned tweet about heroic debate tips and dastardly debate tips. And he is a man made of straw. And in this case, he or she has an NPC face. So, an NPC, to my understanding, is somebody that doesn't really think all that critically about the media that they intake, and instead, when they're trying to make an intellectual argument, they fall back on the talking points that they got from their favorite, often mainstream, media outlet. So they might have heard something on Fox News or CNN, and they're telling that to you verbatim. And they're not really adding anything to the discussion, they're just repeating what they heard on the news. Exactly, without any additional nuance or, again, critical thoughts that expand the conversation and really get a layer deeper than what was provided by the pundits or the news people on air. So if they're airing their opinion and it's just something you could hear from Rachel Maddow directly, well, they're an NPC. They need to work on being a little bit more personalized with their approach to debate. Okay? Because, you know, as we know, the media does craft opinions, and we do get some great information from the media, but we do need to take a closer look at what we're seeing there and apply all the things we've collected from the rest of the world and all other media sources and all of our knowledge from the past, and put together a more complete picture. Just saying children in cages, children in cages, children in cages does not solve the border crisis, unfortunately. It's just rhetoric generated by the Democrat Party in order to hurt the Republicans, because it is a team sport, as we know. And of course, they're overlooking a walled garden. Okay, now this is a reference to the increasingly family-friendly and highly censorious nature of Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and I would go as far as to say Reddit. They're not quite as bad yet, but based on some of their actions in this month of May 2019, I think they're well on the way to being a rather walled garden and creating a bit of an echo chamber where any kind of wrongthink is simply not allowed. If you are, for example, a member of the Donald Trump fan club, the Donald, R _Donald on Reddit, you are your subreddit is not seen in Google search results, and it is hard to see in the results for search on Reddit. And in fact, certain keywords that are used often to smear this subreddit do lead to it. So it's kind of a little bit of a stacked deck, and the bias is quite clear. And of course, we have our big wooden cross. So if the imagery doesn't bring immediately to mind what I'm talking about, well, think about the Messiah of the Christian religion. And think about all of the social justice disciples and all of the moralists on every side of every ideology. The ones that really are dogmatic and push their idea of good and evil on you on a constant basis and try their best to be egalitarian, whether they're destroying every single one of their social relationships in the process, and regardless of how much they are actually helping the groups they purport to be assisting. They have a messiah complex, so they have a big wooden cross. And, hey, a whole lot of guilt, I would have to imagine. Now, I don't speak ill of those that want to bring more light into this world, but there are a number of different methods in order to do this. And of course, in the case of social justice, it includes altruistic otherism, which, in my estimation, as a social justice agnostic, if not an outright social justice atheist, I don't see as one of the better options for bringing less division and more love into the world. So that's just my opinion. Leave me a comment below if you think that pulling people apart, putting them into groups, and creating heroes and villains and creating victims is the best way to generate love.